first we open Lumion. We create a new file in Lumion. I want to create this new file in a completely empty environment, and as you can see, it is now open. Then I need to import the model I want. When we double click on this icon here, we import it. From the new model section, we can call the relevant model. I am currently working diligently on this project for you. I will show and apply it. I am calling the project, more precisely, I am importing, while importing the model, import the double-sided surfaces, ask what we want to do. On a polygon, there are two different ones in front and behind. If there are different texture coverings, we can adjust them from here. But right now, I don't want something like that. I can give my model any name and start the import process. It would be logical to place the model at the 0 point here. Later, whenever we perform any import operation in different areas, when we want to add different details, it will be an easier process. For example, when we look at it now, see it has been placed here. But the point is here, as you can see, we move the coordinates here to the 0 point. This way it's easier. Initially, for good visualization, we need to choose an angle. Let's lift it up a bit more. An angle like this looks quite nice. For example, an angle like this. Now look, what we need in the angle is first a foreground. So having people in the front, people or some similar plants and such, we need a front area where we can place it. Now if we go to the front and take a look at this, on the left side we see the road. As you can see on the left side, we can have people walking here and a vehicle can stop over there. We can use this as the foreground. In the back middle area there are also cafes and such. On the side you can see the shops and the buildings in the background. Therefore this angle is actually nice. I will also try to see the poles over there. I will go back a little more like this. I will go a bit further. I will go to the right. Pay attention to this here. When you right click your mouse, you see the golden ratio. Highlight the golden ratio at the point where these lines intersect. It would be very good to adjust the area you want, because for example, if I am going to take that cafe over there as a reference, I will try to align this area with the golden ratio, but stretch it a bit more because of the poles on this road. I want to see, it's important for me, and as you can see, look, I placed the angle exactly where I wanted to look. I placed the golden ratio here. I placed the point I wanted to look at. This is very important, guys. It's a crucial matter because these are generally accepted rules, meaning these rules, if we don't operate it, good things won't come out. Our angle will be like this. We have decided on it. And I'll save it again in our file. I save it to the desktop with save. Now regarding this angle, first I want to comment, friends. What can we do? What will we do? How will we visualize it? For this, I take a screenshot. I go to ChatGPT. Now we will ask ChatGPT about this visual and show it. We will say that we want to create such a visualization. As you can see, this is our angle to capture this atmosphere in the best way, visualize in the most effective way and to achieve a result. What kind of composition do you think? What kind of composition we need to set up? Where we need to place what and what kind of light do we need to use? We will provide some information about the project and we will receive a brief about the visualization we need to do. This is very important for the preliminary work. So before creating a visual, you need to know what it should look like and an idea about what kind of results we need to produce. We will receive information. ChatGPT will actually act as a creative director for us. So let me put it that way for you. Yes, now I have added this photo here. After adding it, I ask something like this. I'm asking this in English. I say my project is a mass housing and this is bought, an architectural project. In the visual, to highlight the shops and make the street very lively, I want to show what should I pay attention to while visualizing this project. I wrote that I could get very good results. I told him to do creative editing for me. I told it to list the steps I need to take for a very effective visual. Now I'm sending this to ChatGPT. Now ChatGPT is looking at the topic here, examines and tells me what I need to do this way. It is written item by item. When I am doing visualization, I use this information here. Friends, I will use, as you can see, for example, what does it say? Light. Use a light during the day. It says to use a realistic daylight. He says to add lights and stuff to the street. Warm lights, shining lights. After that, it says detail, then everything. Wrote such details. I think a general light. We need to adjust it to create effective lighting. At the first stage, there is one basic thing that I do. Right now, I am removing the existing light, meaning I shouldn't see the light. What is this? This is currently my skylight shadow, just the usual stuff, guys. For example, we added skylight and then added real sky. Look, right now when I add real sky, I mean, if I lower the sun intensity here and if I lower the sky brightness, it gets dark, as you can see. Now I start by slightly opening the sky. Now you need to create the light from scratch. So if you don't proceed with this control, you won't get it right. You won't have done it, friends. Now, if it's an evening scene, then this light is not the right light. We need more of this kind of night atmosphere. Honestly, I don't want a very dynamic cloud. A more calm and serene cloud, but it's evening time like this. It seems to me that something similar would be good. Hey, look at these guys. This is a nice light. Let's reduce it like this. Yes, this is a very nice light. I definitely like this a bit more like this part. Let's make this part a bit more pink. Purple, pink, a mix of things. Yes, this is beautiful. I like this. It's a matter of taste. I think everyone will have a different perception on this matter. Now, when you open it, that is the light. When you turn on the ambient light, you encounter the same situation. You can see a nice state is not occurring. Now look, when we add this Reals K, the physical light here, to create a truly physical effect, we can do something like this. Let's move it a bit more to the left. Let's close this. We will add an effect here, guys. We will add our global illumination or ray tracing effect. Actually, global illumination includes all of this ray tracing alone. This way we can see how much light bounces in the space and what kind of result it provides, and the reflections are also realistic in the same way. We will be able to see it. This is also a very important topic. This is our general light. This is actually our main light, let me put it that way. A fundamental light coming from the sky. Now, we need to address the topic of shops. Now, since we will be using artificial intelligence regarding the shops here, we can do something like this, friends. When you enter the shops, look at the shops around it being covered by such things that the glass is not glass. You only see the shops inside appearing in a photo. Using artificial intelligence, no need to do these one by one. We don't need to create real three-dimensional space. We will get support from artificial intelligence on this matter. What we're doing, look, I'm selecting one of the materials here. For example, I am selecting this shop material, friends. I am selecting the shop material, and in this shop material, there is an emission value, guys. You can see the illumination value. I am opening this. What can we do to better understand this effect? Let's darken our workspace a bit here. It's not clear because it's too bright. Yes, look, now it will be much clearer. Let's select the material again. Here, friends, slightly adjust the MC value a bit more. We can increase or decrease it, like around 195 or so. It looks nice around here. This will also show what kind of impact it will have on our scene. The subject is important. So look, it appears very bright this way, but in the editor, it doesn't look that bright. Therefore, let's make the editor a bit darker and open this. Again, I mean, this much brightness is enough. I think it doesn't need to be too bright. For example, this is good. Nice. What is this value? 5. Dear friends, 5 unit value. We will apply this value to the surfaces of all the shops we see. Now, for example, it is here. There's no need to work in the dark anymore. Let's turn up the light here a bit to brighten up the place. Yes. As you can see, our signs are now lit. I create a layer like this and go to the lighting section here. I take spotlights from here and place them over there. Normally, when you look at it like this and when you do it at night, you will see that it has an effect. Let's just widen this light a bit, make it broad. Then the light in Kelvin values, that is around 1800. It would be good to have something. The width of the light radius is not very important. Anyway, the value of this cone is important. So something like this, something much more like this. If you wish, there are many other options here instead. You have a chance to find it. For example, you can try and see which one looks better. Depending on the situation, for example, this looks nicer. With this logic, let's select the light here like this. The show source part is also important, friends. You need to mark this, otherwise it doesn't make sense. You can always adjust the other lights quickly in the same way. Let's go this way again. Alt. We bring it by holding down the button and call it. After placing these general lights, let's see what effect they have. Look, here the lights now generally illuminate the space. You see it illuminated. The lights are beautifully illuminating this place. Now here we have these lights that we see, these ones. At the same time, there are lights on the ground. Let's make these a bit darker, just slightly, to be able to see. This time, let's open another layer next to the spotlights for street lights. Here we go to the OmniLight section and activate the OmniLight. There is OmniLight. This is important because it has a shadow feature, friends. Let's bring it over here and drop it. Take a look at one. Again, we set our light to a warm light in Kelvin. The impact is not very important indeed at the moment. Let's see, look, right now it has this kind of effect. In the meantime, by saying work with the effect, we can directly enter the editor. Thus, we can work directly with this effect. I will increase the brightness value a bit. I will slightly reduce the light radius value so that it only illuminates a specific point. It shouldn't spread over too wide an area. Let it work more in such a local area. So this will be a bit logical. So it would make sense to bring this and place it right in the center. When we look at it, what kind of result do we get this way? So we get this kind of effect because it reflects. Now this with the other lights. We will spread it to the regions, friends. We will look at our lights here. So these lights are important, friends. Let's see what results these will produce. We can also make these from the material. Let's try see what result we get. Let's increase the emissive value, for example, to 620. Let's do this and see what kind of result it will give. Our shop lights are quite beautiful and clearly understood. There are no lights inside the buildings, especially over there. The Omni lights over there, the lights on the building facades, you see it illuminating. We need to get rid of this. We don't want something like this, guys. I will find a solution. Normally when it illuminates, it produces a result like this. Actually, it's beautiful. Especially the lights over there, the ones at the front are nice. I will add a bit more to our emissive lights. I will adjust these lights a bit more, guys. There's no harm in increasing it a bit more. However, we need to find a solution for our Omni lights. It is necessary, it illuminates too much unnecessarily. Let's select all of these lights. Let's lower our brightness value, guys. Let it be something like this. Take another look, as the lighting of these facades is not what I want, but control. I want it to be in my hands. If this only illuminated its own surroundings, yes, that's sufficient. Don't illuminate the facades. It illuminates these areas. So the Omni lights over there are quite dark. I wanted it to illuminate the surroundings again, but look here, this, for example, it doesn't illuminate the upper area, but the lower part, it doesn't light much. So it also eliminated the lighting here. These street lights are very beautiful, but the lights here are just right. It's not working I want. This area needs to be illuminated. This area is not currently illuminated, guys. It didn't turn out as I said. Therefore, we will review this part again now. These lights turned out very nice, especially the ones on the right. These are nice, but these lights are not satisfying me right now. Let's look into that topic right away, friends. We will increase its intensity a bit more, but what other solution is there? Let's see if we can do it. Maybe we need to raise these lights a little bit. We can stay like this because it reflects from above like this. This way we can limit the reflection a bit. The reflection coming from the bottom, if we open it up a bit more, around 5,000 or so, let's see. Yes, now the area, as you can see, look, this area is illuminated, but above, there is no distortion on either side. It's something important, guys. From the moment you lose control, things get complicated. What is missing here is that the glass needs to reflect a bit more. We currently have a reflection issue on the windows here. It's a good situation. I will increase the reflectivity a bit. There is something called internal reflex here. We are going to try this. What can it do? We are opening the doppelside section. In this situation, I will take another render. Look, at this stage, I need to render them one by one. In order for me to achieve a good result, let's take this for example and say test again. The glass reflects a bit more. It's reflecting a bit too much, but this time you can see it. Maybe we can reduce that reflection a bit to achieve a more impressive result. Yes, it's very nice, guys. I mean, the interiors of these shops are very beautiful. The reflection is a bit too much. I will reduce it. It's too excessive. When I reduce it a bit, actually into the shops as well, I will have achieved the desired result. Initially, there are these terraces. Actually, when we look at these terraces, how much do we see? It's not important. Even if we see the terraces a little, we need to process this here. Let's achieve a realistic result, guys. Therefore, we are going our Omni lights in these reverse areas. So we will place one of each of these lights. Let's take this again and place it here. There doesn't necessarily have to be a light here, but we can bring it and place it here. Maybe it would make sense if we leave it on this column. If we lower it, guys, yes, that's nice. This light into all the terraces like this. We can place it. Let's bring it here. Okay, let's delete this. This didn't work. Let's delete this, guys. By holding down the Shift key, without disrupting the level, that is, the Shift key is important, like this. Now we will see what kind of effect this has. Look, you can see it in these areas here. We have seen the effect of the lights on the pergolas. It's present in the front area. It's not much in this region. Now we come to the interior lights section and place these lights in this layer. Let's look at it in relation to the areas we see. We will reduce this a bit. I don't want it to be too much. Let's go up a bit. Let's see what kind of view it has. Yes, look, it is enough for it to light up like this. So it's actually nice, this and now this. A few like this floor here, maybe one upstairs here. For example, like one down. Then copy this again and place it to the side like this. You can leave it like this back here. And the final layer, so when you look at it, it's not something that takes up too much of our time, but overall, in general terms, the front part is nice, the top part is good, and the bottom part is just right. Did not perceive it as such. Let's understand the reason for this. We didn't copy it, friends, like this, like that, like this, and in this way, hold down the 6th key. We needed to do it by holding it steady. Well, we can pull this down. Let's lower this to make it more logical. It's a bit too complicated. Let's not have this either. Let's move it up. Yes, this one. We have indeed created lighting in this way. Interior. Let's turn off the light section of the room, and this, we need new lights that can highlight our facades. I usually do these like this. Look, lift this up a bit. So you increase this fill light. Now let's move it to the side like this. Yes, we will change this with what? We will replace this with an omni light again like this, friends. Yes, we made it blue. The radius is high, but we will reduce its effect a bit. Look, it has started to give a slight effect. Let's increase this a bit and add a little more. Let it be like this. In fact, let it hit from below. Now, starting from the bottom, that is from here, it will hit. The existing fill light should be red. It should be a night light. Let's have one that will hit from top to bottom. Let this one be blue. We will see what kind of effect it has here. Look, the red light hitting from below upwards, downward shining blue, friends. If necessary, this light can have a slightly more bluish effect like this. A blue can be worked with a more blue effect. The light below is still a bit low. Let's raise it up a bit. By lowering the brightness value, an effect can be created. Let's see what kind of situation we are facing. Looking at it this way, we will dim the light above a bit because the light of the sky is not that bright. Therefore, this light here should be darker, but in the end, there should be a bluish tint. Maybe this light again with a more open color. I think it would be nicer if we put it, maybe if we increase it a bit more. Look, it makes a bit more sense now. If we also turn on the lights inside, both together. When we look, see now, even from the outside, the emissive facades, you can see very clearly how it illuminates. Now, with this logic, we will multiply these lights. Now, when we look, our facades are quite clear. You see that it has emerged. If we also turn on our indoor lights, then everything, it will emerge much more clearly. Yes, friends, look, we are not doing anything by rote. We have to do everything in a controlled manner. Let's test the current situation here, guys. Let's see what kind of result it gives us. You can see, even in its current state, it is quite beautiful. When you visualize, everything is controlled. When you take it step by step, the result will be beautiful. But the blue light over there, a little bit on this facade as well. I want it to hit more here, and I also want it to hit over there. Place is a bit lack. For example, place is very beautiful, but the beauty is not present here. In this case, let's move on immediately. From here, we need to involve this blue light a bit more in the process. Let's turn off the interior lights for a more comfortable, to manage in this way, this blue light. I want to cast a bit more light on these facades. Let's lower this a bit more like this. This really has a very important impact. So the effect of this light is very important. Look, it's missing over there. Let's add a bit more here. It's not very good here. We will move this a bit closer like this. Let's lower this a bit. Let's also bring this one closer. Yes, it has been distant. Maybe we can place it there again. It might look nice. Like this here and there. This effect is important, guys. Look, this effect is really very important. You can see what kind of atmosphere it adds. Now, if you pay attention, let's look at the render on the desktop again. The windows here look lifeless. The windows are very bad. There is no reflection on the glass. We need to increase this reflection effect. We will be working on the floors and other areas here as well. Now let's take another look at these windows. Let the windows be illuminated a bit more and reflect beautifully at the same time. So let's increase the reflection a bit more, friends. We can also enable some internal reflection. Now look, the reflection on the glass is more, made it realistic, but it was too much. Let's reduce it a bit. Let's also reduce the interior reflection. There has to be reflection anyway. When we add the surroundings, we will achieve a much more realistic effect. Look at the back, see those buildings at the back and this area a little bit. We need to support it more. This area has been left very dark, as you can see. Guys, let's take our light from over there. So let's turn off the interior lights. Let's move this light a bit more into that space like this. Let's throw in one of these as well, guys. From the light below to this area. Let's liven it up a bit here. We are experiencing the same issue with those buildings in the back as well. Therefore, these are actually in the interior lights section here. We need to remove from the lights. We need to remove some of these lights, guys. To add a bit of liveliness, this is necessary. Otherwise, it will look dead. Let's save this now, friends. I want to give some light to the Akiapi logos and nature logos here. We have some nice lights here when it comes to spotlights. For example, let's paste it again. Yes, now somehow the light is also hitting our front side. We need to show. So we can take one of these spotlights and do it like this again. We will take this and copy it over there. Tell them that we can place something in this area at the same level like this. Actually, we don't have our light here, but like this. When you look, the light should be hitting from here. We need to get rid of this from here though. Maybe like this, the light source we can turn off, and like this, we can add another one here like this, friends. This front part needs to be bright. In the end, the area we are in might be in this area for maybe a few. It will be a different person. There needs to be a few things in this area. Therefore, we are being a bit generous with the lighting here. We need to act. We made a mistake with these backgrounds, as you can see. Let's fix this. This background will be black. Let's see, very light. Even if it might be something like this, it is generally like this. It will be more distinct like this. Now, after this lighting process I have done, I will explain the topic of adding accessories. After adjusting the light settings, we needed to add some fixtures. I didn't want to show these in the video with you because the decision-making process takes too long. Which tree should I plant? Which people should I place? Deciding which furniture to place where? It takes time, and this can be boring. There is no need for this in the training. You already know Lumion. You are constantly doing these in Lumion. To summarize, this is where the terraces are located at the top. I added a few colourful trees here and some green trees. I tried to make this area a livable space. Later I added a bicycle parking area to the front. As you can see, I have added such people to the Lumion library. I added a light to the right side and a tree here. Thus, the composition becomes a bit more captivating and impressive. I tried to do it, especially having a tree like this on the right side. It makes the space more defined and more beautiful. I will already be giving you this working file. You will be able to directly review this working file. You can open and see which objects I have placed and what I have done. Lumion 2024 file. Now we will render this. The next steps are important for us because this is one of the main topics of our training set. It's about the development of rendering with artificial intelligence. Now let's see the final situation. Our renders before rendering look like this. We have two-point perspectives. We have real sky. We had already set this up initially. There is color correction. Here you can see the values. Exposure +2, contrast 111. In this way, we have our standard and ray trace settings. We don't have any other effects. It's not too complicated. Since we are already using ray trace, all reflections are included, coming together. This way, we will already be rendering using ray trace. We are receiving the channels here in 4K quality, diffuse, depth, specular. We are marking the alpha and material ID channels and rendering. After this rendering process, we will work with Photoshop and then